Hello, hi, welcome on in. I may be a little bit addicted to Minecraft. What was supposed to be a productive day ended up me just, trying to build a giant base. But hi, Kuma, welcome on in. We're continuing this little guide hmm, that we're working on last time. We can probably finish it today. But how's it going? My 2 week Minecraft phase has ended. Well, mine has just begun, so also, it's nice that I'm playing on a server so that all my progress is like saved. So even if I decide to like forget about it, it's always there to return to, which is kind of nice. I think that's what I like about Minecraft servers, the kind of a somewhat permanence to them. Yeah, that's always good. To be fair, I do prefer like multiplayer Minecraft games rather than single player simply because there's always people to wander into your base, see what you've done. Because if you're playing single player and you build like this beautiful castle or whatever, you're the only one who experiences it, if that makes any sense. Even if like it's a server where maybe I don't know people, just the idea that people would like wander by, check things out. I've slowly lost the ability to play single player. Ah, understandable. I think I'm kind of like that in a way. I very rarely play single player games. I'm thinking I should get back into them. I just don't know what to play yet. And there's always like that little gremlin in the back of my mind that goes, oh, I could be productive right now. So I try to ignore that voice, and I think I've been getting a little bit better at that lately. I have seen some streamers talk about it where they feel like they can no longer play like games off stream simply because they're like, oh, this would be so fun to play like on stream. I should be saving it for like, going live and all that stuff. So in the end, they have nothing to play like off stream. And I've seen like I think a few larger creators talk about like the same experience. So something to think about. I guess it's just being content pilled. Hi, Orca. Welcome on in. And that would just suck, and it's funny. I'm already experiencing that. I haven't even started. It's just something that I think people would eventually have to learn to work through if they decide to, like, especially if you're a variety streamer. I don't think I really have that problem because, I just do art and yapping. Speaking of art, it's time for me to do more art myself. Ooh, what are you working on? Something new? Yeah, I'm gonna modify a spider image. Oh, okay. Because I can't draw, but I can change and modify. I mean, you are practicing the skills you would need to eventually draw your own original art pieces. In fact, I saw an artist talk about like someone asked in their chat like how to get started with art, and they're like, "Oh, just pick something you want to draw." I think they use the example of like a shrimp. Like get lots of pictures of it from different angles, all of that stuff, and then once you have everything, trace over it, mainly so that you can understand all its different parts and like how they fit together. They also mentioned like, hey, don't post that because it is traced work, it's not original. But eventually you'll slowly start to practice the hand strokes, or if you're using like a tablet and pen, and you'll very very slowly start to understand the concept of drawing and like the foundation of art, and then from there you'll eventually be able to do it. I have a nice art idea for my friend, but I'm too lazy. Happens. I feel like I have so many ideas of things that I want to draw and rig, and just not enough time in the world. Well enough, I modified a streamer's model for them and got good comments. Ooh. Do you want to share? Yeah, and with Ori's permission, like to try my hand at modifying the little guys. Yeah, go for it. I'll go Jevil someone. What is Jevil? I don't know if that's slang I don't understand or if it's something that's misspelled. Deltarune Undertale. Ah, okay. I've never played either, so I don't know. This guy? Ah, okay. It has been recommended to me, but I don't know. I'm also happy I'm replaying an old game from my childhood. Ah, which game? Hi, Crescent. Welcome on in. I feel like I need to replay a lot of my childhood games. It's Marvel Contest of Champions. Never heard of it. It's a mobile game. I think the oldest mobile game that I remember from my childhood was this it was like in the era of like Snake. What are two okay, there's two that I remember kind of vividly, and that is I think it's like Bounce or Bounce Tales or something. You're basically a red rubber ball and you just it's like a 2D platformer. And one which I think blew my mind cuz the first 3D game like I remember ever seeing, especially on a phone, I think it's just a game where you go through a maze, right? But it's 3D in the sense like do you like the original Doom games? The way everything is like basically a flat image, but it's kind of like looks 3D. Damn it, I know the red ball. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, it's called Bounce Tales. And I'm seeing like a newer version. I'm looking for the original. Oh, so it's just called Bounce. Okay, yep, found it. Hold on, let me show you guys. It was like this. This was peak gaming back in my day. This is where cell phone addiction began. Not your TikTok, not your Facebook, not Instagram, none of that. This was it. This and Snake. Well, yeah, I know the new version. I'm talking the OG one. Just very flat, very pixelated. I think the new one was called Bounce Tales. That one, the graphics looked like more refined. But when I saw it, I'm like, no, this looks too good for what I was describing. When it's too good to be true. I'm like, I remember what the game looked like. So when I saw that image, I'm like, no, this is not it. It's close. It's probably a sequel or a remaster, but it's not the original thing. I do love me my old games. I think it was a very different era of, that was peak have you got games on your phone kind of times, if that makes sense. What else was there? There was Bounce. There was Snake. I think that's about it. I don't remember the others except for like that one maze game. And that game was old. It was on, those really old phones, still with the buttons. I think it was black and white. You know what? Let me see if I can find it. Mm, I'm just trying to Google. I think it was a Nokia. My god, I found it. Hold on. You guys need to see this. This. This was peak gaming. Imagine seeing this as like a child. I think this is the one. Because I remember it being in black and white. That reminds me of Star Fox. I never played it. But I have a Super Nintendo, so yeah, I played it. I think my first phone was older than that. I think it was a Nokia. I think I still have around the house. I think it was even my parents' phone. It wasn't even mine. The indestructible. My mom had one of those. I think she still has it to this day. But it's one of those phones that she only takes like when she goes out. Because when she goes out, she like leaves everything of value at home because she's like, oh, you never know what might happen. So she's like, at least like if I get robbed or someone like tries to steal it from me or something like that, they take the very cheap phone that like, it basically is just a SIM card. Smart move, to be honest. Yeah. But to be fair, the other phones that she's like, these are valuable, valuable, right? Are probably like 10 to 15 years old anyway. You could probably buy them for like 20 bucks. But since my mom is the kind who refuses to let anything go to waste, so if a piece of technology still works, she refuses to upgrade. She exclusively uses all of our old phones. She never wants to buy any of her own. And if you try, she'll get upset at you and call you wasteful. The thing is, those phones are not designed for modern apps. So everything she uses, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever, is like crazy buggy. So what I did was while I was still like a student, I bought, I think, what's it called? I think it's an iPhone X. I bought it for the purpose of like face tracking models. And when I went to visit my parents, I basically gave it to my mom. I'm like, I was encouraging her to use it, install her apps on it. She's like, no, 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 it's your phone. I don't want to use it. I'm like, Mom, I use this thing for like 5 minutes twice a month, right? So I'm like, just use it in the meantime. If I need it, I'll borrow it back from you, and then within like 10 minutes, you can have it back. She was very reluctant. She's a very change averse person. Hi, Chumrad. Welcome on in. We're talking about old technology. So yeah, eventually she started to see things like, oh, my apps run a lot better, things load faster and stuff. After a few months, it slowly started becoming her phone, like, in quotes. And when I was like traveling again, like, because I was going back to work in Malaysia, I didn't take it with me. I'm like, nah, it's okay, you can have it. She's like, no, 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 it's your phone. I don't want it, blah, 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 all of that stuff. I'm like, nope, it's yours. At that point, she had already gotten hooked to using it. And to this day, it's the phone that she uses the most. She would have refused to take it as a gift, so I had to like trick her into using it and then accepting it, and then I left and didn't take it with me. I am a bit of a mischievous cat, so yeah. Security becomes a nightmare. That's what she liked about it, because she wouldn't update any apps. So whenever, for example, things like I think like Snapchat, there are ways like you can screenshot, you can screen record, all that stuff. But with her phone, it was so old and using such an outdated version to the point that whenever she would like screen record or anything like that, it just wouldn't register on the app. And she's like, haha, I've gotten around it. You know what the crazy thing is? My mom, I think like 10 years ago, wouldn't know how to turn on a computer by herself. But like recently, she knows what streaming is. I don't know if she, no, wait, I explained what VTubers are. But she goes on things like it's not TikTok, it's this other app that's basically the same thing. And she just follows yeah, she just follows like random people's live streams. Um she really likes it because she's like, "Oh, they're like from my country, they speak my language." She's like, it's nice and all here, but none of you guys get like, my cultural references and all of that stuff." She's like, "So it's been very nice to like reconnect with people who like grew up maybe watching the same shows, you know, that kind of stuff." So yeah, that's been like a recent pastime of hers, I think, over like the previous years. So that is why she knows what streaming in, as she's like very familiar with the concept, and she knows I think, yeah, she knows not to like reveal her name and all of that stuff. She's actually becoming like an internet user. Snapchat doesn't register screenshots from fossils, and that is why my mom loves them and refuses to give them up. She'll endure like all of the other problems that come with using a fossil. Big brain cat. Yeah, the thing is, my mom is the exact same way, so she always has her eye open for subtle manipulations, we'll call them, because she could see what I was doing from the very beginning. But I was just playing it cool. I was like, "Look, I'm offering this to you because like it seems like something you'll enjoy. And hey, if you don't want to use it, it's fine." I turned off the phone and I put it in the cupboard that's in her room and I let it be because that's like where all the old phones are. I'm like, "Yeah, if you don't want to use it, that's fine. I'll just leave it here." And it was just left untouched for weeks. Eventually, I'd pop in, use it, come back. I'd just start installing her apps for her. I'm like, "Oh, by the way, I installed this thing for you if you want to use it," and I give her the phone. Eventually, she logged into her stuff. It's kind of like TikTok. I don't know if it still exists. I think it's called Bigo or something. It's basically one of those like off-brand ones. But yeah, I installed that one, installed Instagram, all of like the apps that she'd use on the other phones. I just installed it. I was like, "Hey, the thing already has it. If you want to log in and use it, be my guest." And then I'd put it on the counter and I'd leave. She's the kind who she would refuse to touch it, like if I was there. But if there's, no one around, she'd be like, "Hmm." She's like, "This feels like a trick, but it can't hurt to check it out." My mom is very cat like for someone who doesn't like cats so much, which I think is kind of ironic. Sometimes my cats are like that. If they're in a bit of a funny mood and I give them treats, they don't want to eat it, I'll basically just put it like next to them and then I just leave. And then after like 5 minutes or so, they'll like come around sniffing and then just like I start munching on it. Ooh, there's one thing I really hate about mobile phones, like these days. They try to shove ads into everything. I think there's this current phone that I have. Sometimes when I unlock the phone, it freezes and then like a lock screen ad pops up. It's always advertising like wallpapers or some other garbage like that. And I just have to click back and then unlock it again. And it's super annoying. So I kind of see the appeal of like older technology. I think the worst thing that happened to society is everything is you no longer just you're no longer just a one-time customer. Everything is subscription based. Everything has ads in it. Lock screen ads that exist. Yeah, this is the first time I ever owned a phone that had one. Lock screen ads. Yeah, basically you like unlock the phone and instead of like your lock screen, there's like an ad or something there. And it's usually just like it's not even like targeted ads or anything. For me, it's just they're marketing like their own stuff, like wallpapers, or maybe they're showing like news articles and stuff. That sounds horrible. It is horrible. Cause put it this way, imagine my cat is sitting super adorable. Her tongue is sticking out, and I must take a picture within like the next 3 seconds before she realizes what she's doing. So I try to unlock the phone, and I'm delayed by those 3 seconds because some random ad popped up. That is why I hate them. You know what we need? We need to build our own phone with our own OS. Unforgivable? Exactly. Honestly, I don't even remember what brand it was. I literally just walked into the store after like my old phone died. I was like, hey, I need a phone. This is my budget. I want something that lasts me like 5 years. And then the guy's like, oh, this one literally came out last week. And then he pointed to a poster in the back that said, 5 years, no need to repair it. Well, I think like that was their selling point. I think it's Vivo V40, something like that. I don't know. Basically, their whole marketing gimmick was the phone is durable and doesn't spoil. And I was like, this sounds perfect. So I bought it and yeah. The only problem I've ever had with it was what? The lock screen ads. Other than that, works fine. Camera's okay. At that point, use the Polaroid camera. Mm, no, because I take like 1,000 pictures and then I pick like the best two and then delete the rest. As genuinely evil, yeah. Capitalism strikes again. It is terrible. It is only allowable if I am the one benefiting from it. You know what? I should launch my own phone line, my own brand of phones with its own custom OS, and the only ad you see is promoting my art stuff and my Twitch. Any takers? Genius. Yeah, evil is bad. Unless I'm the one doing it, then it's okay. My pie hole will take care of those ads. I remember building one like ages ago. I I took it down because I was moving and I just haven't put it back up again. Ooh, I did have a problem where I think like some apps, sorry, not apps, some websites do get like a little bit of issues because of it. So, since I use like, I have a shared Wi-Fi with my housemates, I don't think I would mess with it. I feel like if I move to my own place, get my own network, yeah, I'll put my Pi to use. It's been sitting in a box for like the past 2 3 years. I forgot about Pi hole. What did I even use my Pi for? I think I used a Pi hole, and at the same time, I made it like my network attached storage. But then as time went on, my backup got like super massive, where it would take like hours to just copy paste it over the network. So my solution was I just maybe like once, maybe like twice a month, right? Like every 2 weeks, I just take like my stack of hard drives, plug them all into my PC, and just clone my hard drive. Takes about 30 minutes. Put them back in the shelf, and I was like, all done. Exactly. I'll only turn my ad blocker off when it's something I care about. Yeah, I saw like I think it was the streamer Ludwig. He talked about ad blocker, and he's like, it's you basically can't use the internet without one, because like the amount of viruses and malware that immediately installs itself through ads is like horrible. His advice was, use an ad block but disable it for websites like YouTube and Twitch so that you can like support the creator. We talked about this last time. It was yeah, YouTube's new system of like detecting ad block. The people who would use it, they would no longer register as a viewer, which means a lot of people, especially larger creators who are used to like maybe hundreds of thousands of views, they all noticed a huge dip, not because less people were watching it, but simply because those same people were no longer being counted as a viewer, simply because they were using adblock. Should have seen it during the early 2000s with people using Internet Explorer with ActiveX. I was busy almost every weekend cleaning up people's PCs. A little bit before my time, but I remember in like what, 2010, my family had one laptop that like everyone would use. And I was like the one who would always be installing like apps and games and all that stuff. So whenever like viruses and stuff popped around, I'd always get blamed for it. And I kept insisting, I'm like, hey, I know what I'm doing. It's not me, right? Fell on deaf ears until I got my own laptop, right? I was the first person in my family to get my own, simply because um I was, I think, like a BC student, something like that. I think in what, like primary school, simply because I just like didn't care. Because again, I was like what, 6 years old. I just wasn't bothered. And then when I think I asked my dad, I'm like, hey, I wanna. It's like I want a computer. I want my own laptop. And he very offhanded was like, okay, get straight A's and I'll buy your laptop. And he said that thinking like, that's something you tell someone so they tried their best, maybe fall short of it, and then you buy them like a present or something, as a consolation prize. But I'm like, oh, okay. And then by the time my report card came out, like what, a couple months later, all A's. Because like especially when I was younger, I had like a bit of a photographic memory, and early days of schooling is just memorizing and regurgitating. So yeah, he was very shocked, but he's a man of his word, even to like children. So he's like, okay, and then he bought me my laptop, and immediately it went several months, not a single virus, while the family computer kept getting new ones, and I was like, interesting how I no longer use this computer. Anyway, it's just me being petty. I still remember. There's also time of worms infesting Windows RPC service. Worms. Is worms the thing that like just keeps duplicating itself until it just bogs down the computer? I'm a bit rusty with my cybersecurity. It duplicates and spreads across the network. Oh yeah, that's the one I was thinking. Before then, viruses were just like, I don't know. I think it's just people being a-holes. They're doing it for the sake of doing it. But I think these days it's all just like trying to scam you out of like, because everyone uses credit cards and all that stuff on their computers. It basically just devolved into a way of making money for like scammers and all. I remember back when I was really young, my first quote unquote virus, right, was just like a script where if you plug in like a USB, it like loads up and all. And then I think every 5 minutes, it just opens the CD tray. Like that's it. That's all it did. And, back then I was like, oh my God, I'm hacker man. My dad has an entire USB of all the old viruses. Ah. I don't think any of them would really work today. Because I feel like they were very basic and only worked because people didn't really protect their devices. Like viruses were really a problem back then. Now every other file is a virus, so times have changed. It was Microsoft didn't care about security. I guess so. Well, some do like some of the real bad ones where they just randomly delete a file. Yeah, you see, that's what I mean. Like they're basically trolls that made those viruses. The point of the virus is just to grief people. But I feel like these days they're mostly just to steal everyone's, either their data or like their financial stuff. We need to go back to the time when, viruses were just like annoying and funny. Any file, including the ones that need to keep the computer running, makes sense. Hmm, that's weird. But yeah, bring back the dick viruses. Yeah, because those ones are like annoying, but didn't actually cause any harm. And now viruses are just a way for scammers to make money. I remember a worm that would restart the computer as soon as the user logged in. I had less than a minute to open the command prompt and disable shutdown. Ah. Hello, welcome on in. We're yapping about old technology and viruses while pretending this is an art stream. But you know what's one thing one of the trade offs, right? Sometimes, like, you have like your antivirus that's just randomly scanning your computer. I noticed, especially on my older laptop, right? I think it's called like anti malware service, whatever. Every time that thing ran, my computer would bog down to like all hell because it's a 10-year-old laptop, okay? Now, the thing is, it would randomly start scanning and my computer would basically be unusable. And I couldn't for the life of me stop it because you're not allowed to cancel the antivirus thing in like taskbar. So I feel like they made it that way so that viruses can't disable, the antivirus, but at the same time it stopped the user from being able to. And like the computer just, you know, doesn't work without it. It was so annoying. So I feel like they took away a bit of your agency in order to keep like the computer safe. But I feel like if there's a way, I don't know what it is, but I wish there was like a switch where, you just put like enable dev mode and just you can disable everything, even like the antivirus, like completely. And I don't even mean turn it off completely. I just meant like stop the background scan. And that was like super annoying. Fortunately, with my new computer, I'm sure it's running. It's just I never notice because it's like a much nicer PC. But for the longest time, I would struggle. I'm doing art, thank you. Well, at least one of us is. I did art, thanks. Well, this chat has a lot of artists in them. So if anyone is doing art, it is them, and they're doing enough art to make up for my lack of progress. Thanks for the follow. Hey, Ordy, hi, Goldie. Welcome on in. We're talking about old phones, ancient technology, viruses of the computer variety. How's the art coming along? You've been to enough of my streams to know that we just do yapping here. We don't do art. No, I'm pretty sure we can finish this one. Because it's just the physics, a bit of the top. Yeah, he's just left and right looking. The physics and a couple toggles. But this time is done. Okay, in my defense, I was working on another model, which is partially ready. I split it into two parts because fire animation is something that's I prefer to do separately and then port it into the model rather than make it with the same file. So I do have like the other thing. It's this one. See, I did do work. It's supposed to be on fire or like made of fire. So see, I do art off stream. I said do. This time it's done. Every time it's almost done. True. I was supposed to do more progress today, but I accidentally got addicted to Minecraft. Like there's a place where there's a mod where it has like those little geos and it grows diamonds. So my plan was to AFK there while I do work and then just mine the diamonds once they grow. But I kept doing other stuff. Next thing I know, stream was going. I was supposed to go live in 30 minutes. I did my first animation today, so I think it went well. Ooh, do you want to share with us? I have usually people can share art and stuff here, and I take a look at it if you want, purely optional. I actually have been slowly getting into animation recently. Now, I knew how to do animation in like Live 2D. It's basically you make a model and then you just record it doing whatever, right? But recently I've been slowly learning frame by frame animation, like very, very simple things. In fact, I was asked about an emote the other day, and I was like, let me try this. Because my previous experience with frame by frame animation is, let me show you the difference. So this wave emote that you see in the chat, this wave, why is there no chat? Oh, I didn't put the new one in Live 2D. Oh, whoops. No one told me. Okay, this wave emote, this one, you see the movements are very fluid. This one is done with as a Live 2D animation, but I wanted to try frame by frame. So my little experiment was This thing, Little High. So I did after I tested it out and be like, oh, okay, so this is kind of how it worked. I watched a few videos, saw little tutorials, you know, reverse engineered a few GIFs, and I actually made. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I'm very proud of this one. Someone was interested in a wall licking emote, and I made this. I think it came out beautifully. It's actually not as hard as I thought, but yeah. Since we're talking about animations, that has been my experience. I didn't know that was Yodi. Yeah, I did it for fun. I think Lamb did she mentioned it in a different stream, did like the whole shout out. But I guess you weren't there at the time. I made that one and I made like it's basically the same one, but it's not licking a wall, it's just licking whatever is next to it. This one. So it's basically a lick emote, and then you can put whatever emote you want next to it. I personally would never be brave enough to do that because, chat can be a little bit unhinged. I don't want them to have access to emotes of them licking whatever they have emotes of. So yeah. I did that as like, hey, there's two versions. You can you can use the second one if you want. So yeah. It was just a little experiment that I did. Maybe I should open emote commissions. I've done a few, but they're more like how do you say this? A little unofficial in the sense that people ask me directly rather than I have commissions open for them. But I feel like I don't know if I'll do static ones, but I could do animated ones, Because static ones, I don't think I'm like the best artist. Like even if I can make kind of nice art, it does take me a while cuz my confidence in my art is a bit low. So I'm always like tweaking and doing things very slowly, precisely. So in terms of like hourly income, for lack of a better term, it's not worth it for me to do illustrations yet. I'm still learning art, I'm practicing, I'm watching tutorials, experimenting with new stuff. So maybe one day, all right, Chad, my animation is sent in the art channel. Oh, okay. Ooh, I'm watching it right now. You have the fundamentals down. That I can say, even as someone who is also just beginning. I am impressed. This makes me want to do more animations. But I have for those who want to see it, join our Discord and check the art channel. This is a hostage situation. Sorry, what was I talking about? I feel like there's so much that I want to do, but I have a backlog of commissions. I'm working on another full body. I also want to like do more streaming stuff. So many hobbies, not enough time. I need to clone myself. Okay, this is the strand, okay? You clone yourself, you have multiple versions of yourself, do different things, and then you upload those memories into your mind once all of it is done so that you basically have all of that experience simultaneously. But you also have a kill switch in all of the clones in case they start to do a whole uprising thing, I think recently I've been looking more into rendering things because I feel like anatomy proportions I kind of have a bit down. I mostly just stare at something until it starts looking wrong, and then I tweak it until it starts looking right. But like rendering and shading, I've greatly improved, but I want to improve more. I want to make I was trying making like those really, 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 really crazy high quality models, like the kind people pay like $5,000 for. Like that's the kind of quality that I'm striving for. Because they take like a long time to do. Giant art wall. Speaking of art wall, I have this. Hold on. This lags my VTube Studio. You see, everything is frozen. Give it a second to check on Lamb real quick. I'll be back. Yeah, I actually have a toggle where like a whole bunch of models pop up. So yeah, normally like I made this for like a temporary video. Like I wanted to do a showcase of I wanted to do a showcase of basically all the models. Well, this is not all, but a lot of them. And I was like, you know what would be amazing if I had all of these as like a single toggle, so that if someone raise in and I'm explaining who I am, I have something quick to show, rather than like the three at the bottom. So yeah, it's my 7 reps for OC. Let me take a look. Ah, okay. Giant wall of art refs. We were talking about something, but I forgot what. Before we got derailed and started talking about art and how I don't do art. Ooh, the weather's gotten like kind of cold here. I say kind of cold, but this is like, it's what, 12 degrees Celsius? That is cold for me because, again, I am a tropical cat. So, yeah, I'm not built for the cold. You know, the good thing about streaming is whenever I go live, I'm running OBS. I have like 11 apps running, for like all the toggles, all of the extensions, everything. It basically causes my PC to become a miniature heater. So when it comes time to stream, I actually don't feel cold. I didn't notice it like for a while, but back when it was like summer and like really, really hot, I noticed my room would get like very toasty whenever I stream, and I was like, I wonder why. I guess it's because of the because of the PC. I've kind of narrowed it down to that. I gotta save up 1 million points. Gotta trade my time for $100 worth of art. It's actually $150, so you're getting a better deal. It used to be 100, but times change. I do have this thing going. You know, September celebration. So I knocked it back down to 100. Ooh, we also have this thing. You know what? We actually have a different sign. You know the dice on my staff? You can actually roll it. Hold on. Well, you can roll it for free with channel points. Let's see here. Yeah, see that? It rolls and it lands on a random number. So I was like, you know what would be fun? Just as a little something for, people to play with if they want to support the stream, but, I want to give something back. So I'm like, what if we had like a little what's it called? Little gamba mechanic. Roll D20. Yeah, it's in the channel point redeem. Hold on, let me change it back. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun because you can kind of just like pull on it, try your luck. I'm the kind of person who is not the not the biggest fan of gambling. So I made it like a what's it called? Like a personal note to myself. Mm, if someone seems a little bit too addicted, I revoke their access to it because it's supposed to be like a little fun thing. But if someone is maybe a little bit too obsessed, I'm like, I don't like that. So yeah, I have a very unmonetized stream, and I'm like, I don't think that's very good. Some people just really like to support the creators and all. So I'm like, maybe I should make something. So I made that and I let it be. I lost 3 rounds of poker with friends who didn't play for money because my luck sucks. Yeah, I don't understand poker, which is kind of bad because every time I play Far Cry 3, there are missions where you have to play poker and win in order to pass it. And I just have no idea what's going on. I go all in, play whatever hand I have until eventually I do that enough times and I win. Needless to say, I usually have to try a few times. Oh, we have ads. I feel like I should put this behind the ads. Nah, but then the little guys block it. Hi, Hot Shack. Welcome on in. To be honest, I didn't get an ad yet. Yeah, sometimes people get it, sometimes they don't. I just assume everyone has it until they start chatting. I never get ads. There was a time where like I didn't get them for like ages, but I have noticed like recently I've started getting them more and more. I know like a strategy to like kind of in quotes disable them or make them less likely is if you turn on like sexual themes, the viewers tend not to get the ads when they start running. At least the chances of them getting one is like way lower. There's no way to disable them. Apparently they used to be, but that was before my time, so I don't know. Let me fix up my desk real quick and I'll be here. Okay. We'll be here. We'll be live for like an hour. And I feel awake and lively, so maybe you'll stream for another hour, another 2 hours. Ads are done. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. If you had them. Apparently, you can get like rid of them if you pay for like Turbo. Which, if you're like a fan, if you're like a fan of many streamers slash VTubers, like you're always here on Twitch, might be worth the investment. I'm not sure how people like make money from it. I think like if someone has Turbo and they're watching your stream like during the ads, I think you get a little bit from them, but I'm not too sure. I have glanced at like the monetization thing, and apparently there's like a section for like Turbo users, like the income you get from them, but I don't know exactly how it works. But yeah, apparently there used to be in the olden times on Twitch like an option to just like disable ads. And I think Twitch made it an option like you could turn off ads on your channel, but I think they realized they messed up because every single person probably just like turned them off, and then Twitch was no longer earning any ad revenue, and they were like, "Oh shit." And then just very quietly without telling anyone, put the ads back on and deleted the button. Cuz I heard some streamers talking about it, and I was like, I wish such a button existed. I would push it in a heartbeat. I would only keep like ads on if like a chat was massive and like it would actually earn me something. But for now, I think like it's more of a hindrance than anything. So I'm like, I don't know. We can't disable them, but we can usually just pause the conversations. If we're playing a game, pause that too. I think it does if you're not monetized, but that seems to be the goal of most streamers. I would actually, okay, if you could have channel points without monetization, I would kind of just what's it called? Redact my affiliate status, because then people won't get ads, and yeah, it'll be a much better experience. Oh, for sure. I don't know if I mentioned it. I was having a bit of an issue with like the affiliate thing, and Twitch support got back to me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you changed your details. You can keep your status." So I'm just like, phew. Because I was thinking about it, and I lose all the emotes. I gambling. Well, it's okay since it's channel points. It's all free. Go nuts. But yeah, we'll 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 lose the emotes. We'll lose the channel points. Yeah, that would have sucked. Just to the point where I actually put a pause on like working on some stream stuff, and I was like, I don't want to start working on all of this only to lose like the affiliate status. So I just like put it all on hold. But yeah, good ending of Twitch support, did get back to me. But remember, there won't be any breaks. True. Hold on, let me submit my withdrawal form right now. If I tried the amount of rioting, people would be out in the streets flipping cars. Roll the 4. Hey, you can't win them all. That's how dice work. In fact, like whenever I play D&D with like my friends, what I've been slowly encouraging them to do is role play their failures And to make it funny, they actually get like I use something called inspiration points. I feel like there's something like no, sorry, I call it luck points. Um, not to be confused with the lucky feat for those who play, but basically it's a pool of points that people have and they can use it to amend their role. Think of it like a get out of jail free card where for example, they have 3 luck points. They need 3 to succeed a roll. Say they need to roll 13 and above to succeed the roll and they roll a 10. They're like, okay, I'm gonna use 3 luck points to add to my roll. I succeed, right? So it's like it's the most valuable resource that they have. They could basically control fate, right? So usually what I do at my table is I'm like, if you role play your failures in a way that's like really funny and entertaining, and they eat shit real hard, like maybe they failed acrobatics, like they go, oh, I fall face first, I'm now prone, the enemies start kicking the shit out of me. I'm like, that's hilarious. I'll give you 1 luck point, consolation prize, and then they hoard it like a dragon. Ooh, D&D, yeah. Oh wait, were you here when I was talking about my war crimes? Well, they can't use the riot animation either. True, but they won't be rioting on stream. They'll be rioting in the streets. So war crimes, yeah. Okay. So, for context, I am a forever DM, which means I am the dungeon master for like the past 4 years and have never gotten the chance to be a player until one day. I was watching a movie with a couple of my friends. They're my min-maxer players, and one of them bullies the other. He's like, "You should host D&D next time." And they're like, "Okay, fine, I'll do a one shot." So I managed to play my druid character. Now, for context, that druid character is a bubbly ray of sunshine, super sweet, super polite, but they're part of a death cult that is trying to kill all of civilization and return the world to nature, that kind of deal. So, in those 3 hours, hold on, I'm pulling up the checklist. So, within 3 hours, I started spreading plague. You know what? I think it's better if I just put this on screen. Crap, where did I put the image? Hold on, I remember sending it to someone. Can I drag and drop this in OBS? Huh. You know what? This works. So, within 3 hours, my druid character has committed the following breaches of the Geneva Convention, or as I like to call this list, Daphne's Geneva Suggestions. I committed murder, attacks on civilians, biological warfare, indiscriminate attacks, human shields, and recruitment of combatants by force of fraud. So, yeah, I'm very proud of myself. It was a lot, and I only had 3 hours to do it. I'll keep you guys posted because I think we're going to have another session. It's a very short campaign that friend is running. So they're going to continue it on Saturday. I'll keep you guys posted on the list. I love D&D. I'm hearing winning. To be fair, all the players know what I'm doing. Their characters do not. For all they know, my character is super sweet ray of sunshine. Like basically the person I dragged the quest giver into combat with us. I'm like, don't worry, you'll just be watching from like the sidelines, and I roll persuasion. So, eventually they follow. And when the fight broke out, I'm like, oh, let's stay hidden. Let's go hide over there. And I lured them deeper and deeper into the combat. And as soon as we're cornered and surrounded by enemies, I point out, oh, we're not actually hidden. I didn't roll for stealth. These people 100% should have heard us. So my friend, the DM, is like, oh, okay, if you put it that way, yeah, they hear you, they turn, they come to kill you. That guy was between me and the enemy. So they killed him first, and then I ran away. By the way, my friends are really good at separating the player from the character. Because one of my characters is a cleric. He could have revived them. And one of my min-maxer plays like, hey, don't revive him because if you do, then he'll narc on us and we won't get paid for all of our quests. So the person was like, hey, we shouldn't bring this person back to life because, yeah, he should stay dead because we want gold. We want the quest reward. But he's like, okay, in game, I think he deserves a burial, so I'm gonna take his body back to town. And the little shit that I am, um, when we take the body back to like his friends and family, they're crying over the corpse, and I put my hand on their shoulder, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I offer my condolences, and that touch on their shoulder, I cast the spell Contagion. I give them the plague, and then we leave. I love D&D. I'm an absolute menace, and I have told my friends, I'm like, hey, this character is not a good person. They're an animal and deserve to be put down as soon as possible. So yeah, never play an evil character if never play an evil character in a party of good people unless you're ready for the fact that one day they may decide that this person's evil and they kill evil. So don't be an edge lord. I've never had this problem, but I have seen a few D&D horror stories where there's some people who are like, oh, I am playing this dark, evil, edgy character who does mean and evil things in like a good party, and then they get a little bit upset when the party doesn't agree with their evil ways. Yeah. So yeah, what's another one? Mm, common traits to avoid: lone wolf characters. Actually have it in my table rules. This is a preemptive measure. Yeah, I've never had any issue with it. And it's basically I banned lone wolf characters because D&D is a cooperative game. You all have to work together. And I said like the exception is you can play a lone wolf character if they are a lone wolf who feels like they're forced to work with other people. Like they will do it even if they do it in a disgruntled manner. See the short videos on YouTube, Chaotic Good Barbarian? I don't think so. Let me search him up. Chaotic Good Barbarian. Oh, this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love this show. Uh, I knew the channel Dungeon Soup. Basically, my character is kind of like a parody of this, but instead of Chaotic Good Barbarian, they are Chaotic Evil Druid, if that makes sense. You know, like how he's like a sick and twisted, but he's doing good deeds. Yeah, my character is exactly the same way, with the same amount of energy, just evil. But yeah, I love this thing, especially the Lich one. For those who don't know, ever see these shorts? Whoops. Hold on, let me just copy the image. You guys ever see this one? Beautiful animation. It's I don't even know how to describe it. Honestly, just Google Dungeon Soup. Let me see if I can find the channel. Should be here. Yeah, this is the channel. Dungeon Soup. They have amazing like short animations. They're like a minute long each. Totally worth the watch. But yeah, I have seen them. I love these things. I don't know how often they come out. I think they come out like what, once a month? But every time they do pop up, totally worth the watch. I was familiar with the channel name, but not like the name of the show itself, like the little mini series. I think the last one was a beach episode. Yeah, with like the Jamaican sounding mermaid. Hey Ordy, Sacrificial Lamb says chomp chomp with my model. I'll get to it. I'm still working on owls. But hi Feather, welcome on in. I'm almost done with like I finished rendering the skin. I'm working on the outfit. I figured out how to render feathers, and I'm now trying to figure out how to connect like the corset to like the little feather dress thing, if that makes sense. She's live, and I said I was gonna come bully you over my model. Oh yeah, I checked in before I went live because I saw what's it called? I saw she was live, and like while I was waiting for my streaming time, I was a bit 30 minutes early. Yeah, I popped in, said hi. We were reading the "Am I the Asshole" stories. Said, "I got Ori. I can tell you, the friend was Lamb. It was their model. Ah, okay. She's never live at this hour. Should be asleep. Yeah, I saw like the title. She's like, oh, I can't sleep, so I'm going to go live, and understandable, because it's like what 5 6 a.m. for you guys. 4 a.m. 6 a.m. right now. Yeah, I'm always surprised to see 4:30. Yeah, I'm always surprised to see Australians awake at this time. Hi, I'm Aussie. Yeah, I remember you mentioned it because you're like, I'm always asleep at this time. Try to catch a stream, but I'm dog shit at that. Hey, it's completely understandable. If I was in your time zone, I would never be able to catch my own streams. Truth be told, I need to tell Lamb that Ikuma's cheating on her. Okay, you'll get them in trouble, but it's okay. If they get banned in Lamb's channel, I'm always live. It's okay. I am like the refugee stream. Anyone who gets banned from anyone who gets banned from Feather Stream, Lamb Stream, anyone who streams it. You know what? If you're banned at anyone's stream, but you're not actually a bad person or problematic in chat, you're welcome here. So they get mad if I modify thingy more. Wait, speaking of viewers cheating on their streamer, I did see a couple people kind of what's it called? They had their takes on competing for viewers, which I was like, because I did see two takes on it. One of them is like oh, it's a zero sum game where there's like a limited amount of viewers and like everyone's kind of vying for their attention. And another one which is like, hey, that just doesn't exist, and it doesn't matter. I'm kind of on the fence about it because I do understand that a person can only watch like a handful of streamers, right? Unless you like live on Twitch, I think you're watching like a maximum of like 3 to 5, right? Because there's just so much time in the day, and some of them overlap and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, oh, this is some people. They're like, oh, I don't want to raid because, I don't want people to steal my viewers and all of that stuff. I'm someone of the mindset that you can never steal a viewer. I feel like at the end of the day, people just kind of settle where they want. So I don't know. I don't have any like a very strong position on the matter. But yeah, it's something interesting. Oh yeah. Oh, I think that GIF is broken. Yeah, that's the one that uses trigger fire. That thing is like a 50-50 chance every single day if it's working or not. Right, sorry, I was thinking about it and I lost focus. Yeah, it happens, it happens. Normally what happens is when someone makes that redeems that, there's like keys jingling in front of me and it says focus, focus, focus. But yeah, I don't believe in the concept of stealing viewers. I feel like they are shared communities. Usually they swap around wherever. So far, I think I've mostly collabed with people who don't stream at the same time as me. So yeah, I'll get some work done. I gotta get chores. Up yours, Autobot. I don't. Okay, my the only mods that I really have is Automod, and so far it's been working great. It keeps all of the spam bots out. Occasionally, it does capture people who have a bit more of a vulgar vocabulary, so it discriminates against Australians. Fortunately, I just click a button. I basically approve all of it. If it's sent by like a real person, I basically never denied a message. The only ones I never approve of are the ones from bots or people like trying to sell things. But yeah, I don't believe in stealing viewers. I feel like people who, because, as someone who watches some streams, I do drift around quite a bit. So there are like a couple communities that I'm very like solidly embedded into. And the rest I kind of just pop in randomly. Sometimes I feel like maybe my tastes change, or maybe sometimes like, oh, I'm in the mood for something fun and chaotic. I click onto certain streams, or oh, I'm trying to get work done. I want something like cozy and relaxed. I click on another, that kind of vibe. How did we start talking about this? Anyway, I think it's just people on the internet complaining about things. What people should be focusing on is how to grow the pie. Exactly. To be honest, as like VTubing gets like more and more mainstream, right? People do say like it's oversaturated. There's like way too many VTubers and stuff, and blah blah blah. All of it's just yapping and complaining. Truth be told, when VTubing like kind of first started getting popular, like beginning of COVID era, around that time, like 2020, it was such a novel thing where people would show up just because you're a VTuber, right? Like that's kind of how it worked. But because there just weren't many around. But as it got like more and more mainstream, it kind of lost its novelty, and people just no longer would get like views simply because they were a VTuber. And it's not like, oh, it's oversaturated and it's like impossible or anything like that. It's just VTubers have basically just become a regular streamer. It's no longer a unique gimmick. Let's say I've just settled with ones I've got due to how you're all loosely connected. Exactly. That's like an example of like shared communities. It's kind of like a lot of the time. It's kind of like Venn diagrams, especially with like creators who usually like collab together or like friends, that kind of stuff. Usually that's how certain viewers like find other streamers etc. So it ends up creating kind of like a little Venn diagram of like how the communities overlap. Some people will have a preference and like stick to one, others bounce between a couple, you know? I feel like I'm the kind who is usually like at the center of like a few interconnected streamers, that kind of stuff. Like I'm talking like large creators who like I watch. It's usually like maybe like I have like a top 3. And even like whenever they collab, I usually like jump between the chats. But I'm the kind of person who I have like, oh, this is the streamer I watch. Like if I'm watching a stream in the morning, this is the one maybe around the afternoon. This other one is like for nighttime, evening, that kind of stuff. Hi Nadia, welcome on in. Sorry, my focus is kind of just flutter around everywhere. Oh, hi Lamb, welcome on in, Raiders. How was your stream? I popped in a little bit in the beginning, watching a little bit of the Am I the Asshole stories. To be fair, whenever, like, 1/3 of my shorts, whenever I'm scrolling on my phone, is basically those Reddit stories. But hi, welcome on in. We were talking about, man, we were talking about a lot of stuff today. Talk about old technology, ancient viruses, ye olden phone games. I had fun. That's glad. I'm glad to hear that. Sorry, I got distracted because we're talking about like people's takes on the internet about like viewership and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm off to try and sleep. But I hope you have a wonderful stream. Well, thanks again for the raid, and I hope you have a good rest. Bye bye. Because it's like what I think like we discussed this like 5 minutes ago, or like 5 a.m. That's usually the time I wake up rather than go to bed. I feel like if I tried to stay up to like 5 a.m., I would die. So yeah. I used to be able to. It's currently 6:30 for us Aussies. Yeah, but Australia has like 4 different time zones. And I think they're like it's a range of like 4 hours. I head to bed. Bye bye. Well, thanks for stopping by. Nice seeing you and hope to see you again soon. Bye bye. Okay, I think we are ready to start making it look left and right. All the toggles are set. It can eat the hat. Ooh, I forgot the angry one. Mm, you'll see what I mean. Yeah, what I have in the background while working is not what I would watch when not working. Exactly. There are some streams which are like fully engaging, like you're watching, you're having a great time. It's exciting, it's riveting. And there are others which are more like chill podcasty in nature, something that you can have on your like second monitor, or even just minimized. Despite being an art stream, I think like the latter is the kind of content that I have. You can just minimize the window and probably have the same experience. Also, the time zones are only like an hour and 30 minutes maximum difference. Really? Oh, okay. I think I Googled like time zones in Australia and I saw like in this place, it is this time. In that place, it's that time. So I don't know. I thought it was like a range of 4 hours. So I was trying to remember what to label this. Because what I do, where's this? Okay, I have a clip. I have like a little piece of art here. So if I want to make like the eyes angry, I simply forgot to clip it. Okay, there should work. If I want to make it angry, I just do that. Well, thanks for the head pads. I think my content is a third muted tab. Yeah, if you want to increase the quality of my streams, minimize it and mute it. In fact, if you press like the little red X button on the top right, the quality increases dramatically. But yeah, I think I've decided to go for the a very chill, yappy kind of content. That's just what I kind of just enjoy. That just increases productivity. You have a point. There are some times where when I really need to focus, I find myself turning off the streams because I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit too engaged here. Let me turn it off. And there are sometimes where I think like I get a bit overstimulated, what listening to like music or someone yapping, all of that stuff. So I'm like, okay, I need to focus. I just turn off all the music, all the streams, nothing playing in the background. I'm just sitting in dead silence in my room doing art. And surprisingly, I end up focusing. But I noticed that's like a one-off thing. If I try doing that every day, I think I get bored. But like if I really need to log in, yeah, that works wonders. When I do that, I get to see my feather wallpaper. Does your counter count if it's off stream? Or is it only when you're live? I've just learned to zone certain things out. For me, it depends. Like if I'm able to concentrate that day, it's doable. Other times, not so much. Only when live. You could just have those little like clicker counters where, every time you push it, the counter goes up by one. Every time you mention feather, you just click on it. I'm back. Welcome back. Ooh, I discovered that what's it called? Twitch actually has like a way to like mark streams. So like if you want to go back to a certain point for like clipping and stuff, you mark like I think it's like exclamation marker. Yeah. It might make sifting through VODs for clippable stuff a lot easier. Yeah, it's a command. I don't know how it works. Hold on. Slash marker test marker stuff. Moment. I don't think it stays when you export it to YouTube. Hmm. You have a good point. Okay, how about this? What if we have a command, right? A command that is a visual marker. So, like, for example, we do a exclamation mark and then maybe like at the top right of the screen, a little something pops up. Say like a, say like something pops up that says stream moment marked, right? So if someone is watching the VOD like on like times 10 speed muted, they'll just need to watch it until they see the marker pop up, and then yeah, they know to like go back and check if there's anything there. Could be doable. To Twitch markers, you can see the timestamps in the VOD edit. The issue is usually I upload my VODs on YouTube. Like they're there on Twitch, but you know, like on Twitch they're only there temporarily, and sometimes the clips are made of VODs that are like weeks old, maybe months old as well. So by the time someone would like get to it, maybe the VOD would have expired on Twitch. So like I upload them on YouTube and there's no BGM there, simply so that it's a lot easier for people to like make clips and edits of the stuff, so they don't have to like edit out the BGM, if that makes sense. You know the Telltale Story games, I made an OBS overlay that plays the Nadia will remember that. Oh. Hmm. I'm thinking visual marker, something that lasts like 30 seconds in the corner. So that if someone is sifting through like the VODs, they can just play it at like times 10 speed. What's the fastest you can go on YouTube? Hold on, let me check this out. What is the fastest YouTube speed? Okay. I've clicked on random video, playback speed. Apparently times 2 is the fast. Yeah, times 2. It might still be useful if someone is just like hovering over like the thing. You know when you get to see like a little thumbnail pop up when you hover over like the position of the video? If you guys get what I'm talking about. Hmm. Cause right now, we're trying to figure out how to make VOD scrubbing like a much more efficient process. Because previously, what we used to do is Seller would make notes because when he's watching the stream, he's like, "Oh, this moment would make like a good clip." Add it to like a spreadsheet. Says like, "This VOD, this date at this time, this topic." Hmm. But that would require someone who is like always watching the stream. So we're trying to think of a way to sift through VODs for like moments to turn into clips in a way that doesn't require someone to like slog through hours of content, if that makes sense. So the marker is like a good idea, but we need something that sticks to like that would stick to like a YouTube video. Can I send you a pic? Yeah, sure. Maybe try get an AI to go through and look for keywords. We could have like a code phrase, right? I don't know, like in Big Bang Theory, um, the word bazinga, right? And then it was like, oh, this is a clippable moment, and I just said the word bazinga, and then afterwards we just shove the VOD into an AI and be like, hey, go through the transcript and tell me what parts of the video this word is said, and then it'll like spit it out like it is said at 1 hour 30 minutes, you know, over here, over there. Could work like a stream marker. Okay, I'm seeing the picture Nadia sent. This would be useful, like while the VODs are still on Twitch. The only issue is like, how do we add markers to a file which is only in like an MP4, if that makes sense? So you wouldn't have like any of the marker data that you usually have on a Twitch VOD. That is so far like the stress. You know, one day I can just pay someone to scrub through the video. I don't know if OBS lets you create chapters in files. I don't think so. Because I'm basically trying to look for like the simplest solution that is like kind of practical. Because like before, we'd have like the moments that potentially could be turned into clips. And then say like Hoshak is looking for something to turn into a clip. He opens that spreadsheet. So he's like, okay, this VOD, this date, this time, this topic. Immediately just clicks to that point in the VOD. Immediately gets everything that he needs. Done. Also, I'm seeing a picture of what Koma did to Lamb Chop. It's the same time scale so that you can manual it through YouTube like chapters. Hmm. But that's a system that hmm. Looks like you can set up a hotkey and add a chapter in stream. So you might have to. I know that happens when you change categories, right? Usually, if you're looking at like a VOD, it says, "Oh, this stream just chatting." But say they go just chatting, then switch to game, then switch to like Minecraft, then switch to art, and then switch to just chatting. It'll be like, "Oh, this thing has like 4 or 5 chapters." When you click on it, you can basically jump to like literally any category like the moment the category changed. So you're not interested in just chatting and you only want to see them play the game. You'll click on the chapter thing and click, oh, game category. This is the moment they changed the category. So that's like when they started playing. Skips over like the just chatting scene. Okay, I'm back. Welcome back. Hmm. I'm thinking visual cue. Something, yeah, I'm thinking something like in the top corner here that lasts like 30 seconds so that someone just skipping through the VOD like not really watching it. It's like times two speed. They're spamming like the forward arrow to kind of like jump through every 15 seconds. That might be useful. It's okay. Maybe this will motivate me to go corpo. Yeah, I tie a visual marker so it always helps. Yeah, that could be very useful. It'll be like the exclamation clip command, but instead of like making a clip, it'll just like pop something in the corner here, last 30 seconds, and then disappears. So whoever is not really scrubbing through the VOD, but just like sifting through, would like see it and be like, oh, okay, this might be a potentially clippable moment. If you do the chapters in OBS, you could just mark the timestamps in YouTube and create chapters. But I'll add that to my to-do list. Things for Ordikai to do/remember. OBS chapters research. and I will probably get to it in like 3 months because that is my bad habit. I have that to do list, but usually things exist there for ages. I'm trying to be a little bit better at it, if that makes sense. I try not to procrastinate those things. My biggest issue is some of the stuff there is like a little bit lower, like on my list of priorities, because sometimes it's like, oh, something that, you know, maybe modify these little guys down here, like, oh, give them a little outfit. That kind of falls a bit low on the priorities because like stream still runs without it. You know what? I'll code that for me as well, lol. Hey, if you actually bake something like that, do let me know. Ooh, while you're here, I did talk about basically AI mascots that you can yap with. You know, like what you were working on the other day on stream. And I was telling people it is a amazing business opportunity, not just for VTubers, but literally any new streamers. Simply because when you first go live for the first time, say say you've not ported a community over, so you have like one follower is yourself, right? And you need something to fill the dead air. Say you're playing a game, but you don't want to sit there silently playing it. Having like a little AI chatbot just like randomly talk to you the way like Neurosama does, that would be like a game changer for people who are just like entering the game, entering the streaming sphere. Because I feel like the biggest hurdle in the very beginning is what to talk about when like before there are people to talk to, if that makes sense. So I was like, if you can program this and kind of package it in a way that it's like a custom app for each client, so people can just copy paste it and resell it, it would be like an amazing product to have and like put on a store, like a AI chatbot. Talk to it during your streams. You'll just have to figure out a way to market it. It would be game changing. Like if I had that like starting out, that would have been like amazing. Like think about it. Try this. Go to like any stream with like, go to like Twitch any category and select like lowest to highest, or find someone who has like just started streaming. Usually the streams tend to be a bit like quieter. They're still like learning how to yap and all that stuff. So before then, just starting out, it's usually like a much more quieter experience. But if you can spice things up with like a little pet AI that you talk to, do you know like how some people, whenever they start streaming, maybe they rope in like a couple friends in VC, so they're hanging out and talking to each other, you know, and then eventually people will be like, "Oh, this is a nice stream." They start following, they start yapping, and when those friends don't pop in the VC, they have active chatters. Imagine you replace that friend in VC with an AI, something like Neuro, if you're familiar. So in my OBS overlay, Ordic. I like that. But how do you pronounce that? Ordi. It's like Ordikai, but AI at the end. Ordikai, I guess. The non-stop yapping bot, it'll never stop yapping. Yeah, if you have a bot that's like constantly talking with you, if you have you guys ever used like those character AI things? Imagine that, but it has like TTS. So you're just like chatting with it. Imagine you're like hanging out, you're making conversation. It'll ask you random questions, you answer them. It'll basically be like a temporary replacement for like active chatters in the very very beginning. I think it would be amazing. There is an opportunity there. Your new best friend, the Yapertronic cat. The thing is, if you, because I saw a little bit of when Hotchak was coding a bot, There's like a whole section which is just like you describe the personality. If you have like the AI, which is a blank slate, and then you can just plug in any personality at the drop of a hat, you have a easily customizable product. And yeah, the world is your oyster. Especially anyone who's just getting into VTubing, they would like kill to have a bot like that. And if you make it very cheap, game changing. So you have, say it's like a ton of work to set up the first time, but to make a copy with a unique personality takes like 30 seconds. You could sell it for like what, $10, $20? Yeah. If I had the skill to program it, I would have done that. It is I keep saying the same thing over and over, but like it's like a bit mind-boggling to think about. I'm like, the fact that no one has done this like on a large scale, because there are a few, like there are a few AI like streamers and VTubers, whatever, but it's usually like one guy made it for their one stream. There isn't something that is like mass produced and like off the shelf kind of stuff. You can get like kind of generic ones. But if you have one that's just like a, hey, give me the personal, describe the personality, and I'll give it to them, you'll have to hard code it, right? If you make it so that it's a generic personality that works on every stream, people will just take it, copy paste it, and yeah. The problem is the hardware that's required to do that. If you use something like ChatGPT, you'll use a lot of tokens. You could run like a chatbot like that on like a gaming PC, right? Like, say you're just running one bot and nothing else. Say OBS, which is not too heavy. Say you're running OBS and only the chatbot. Yeah, but that's about it. Could be useful for just chatting streams. Oh, wait, sorry, I forgot to check the Discord. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just a little OBS marker. It's a little thing that pops up that says not, you'll remember that. Hmm. Except if you have a model running, you may have competing resources. Hmm. A lot to think about. Fortunately, I'm not the one building it. So you could need like at least a 30, 80, 90 to function. Yeah. I do know people who like if you cuz sometimes I like to scroll and check like the specs of people's stuff cuz some people like advertise it in their about section. A lot of people have like really good gaming computers cuz a lot of times they're gamers and then they want to like start streaming after rather than, they like bought it specifically for streaming. Once I build a new PC, my current gaming PC will be moved over to some AI system. It's kind of like doable if, people have like a maybe dual PC setup, or like they're very tech savvy. They know like how to like optimize these things and set it up. What is the best thing to do is you have to make it kind of idiot proof. Basically a one file thing. They click it, it opens, it starts running. Because not every VTuber is very tech savvy. Some can barely use a computer, you know, if you've noticed, which is okay. It's not a bad thing. It's, different people have different skill sets. You have to ship the hardware. You lost me there. Could you run it on like a second PC? Just like capture whatever's going, like you're running the processes on like one PC, and then the output is like sent to the other PC. Hmm. You could have it like a way of cheesing it, right? You'd have it running on one PC, and then you just Discord call yourself, screen capture. Could be a way of doing it, kind of just daisy chaining them together. Because you don't really need to connect the PCs, you just need to capture the output of the model being run. Just have the responses built on one PC, then made audible on the other. We've turned into a very techie stream. I apologize for anyone whose eyes has a gloss over. I'm very fascinated by like the technology. Not everyone's cup of tea, but yeah, I would. If anyone ever did that, first thing I would do is I'm like, hey, I'd reach out to them, even if I don't know them. I'm like, hey, I love your product. I love what you're doing. Do you want to sell like a bundled thing? You know, someone commissions this thing, they commission a mascot model, and then you plug your personality into it, and then, you know, they commission the both. Maybe they have a bundled discount, that kind of thing. That would be awesome. So turnkey solution is one that user plugs in and turns it on, just works out of the box. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't know what the term was called, but yeah, something like that. For example, like my brick software, you just set it up like once, and other than that, it just works. Because like if it's very complicated to use, some people might shy away from it or get like frustrated, and, you know, like the user experience will be worse. But if you have something like, hey, this app is little mascot that runs and does this thing. People click on it, it opens, it pops up, they start talking to it. Yeah, that would be like the best case scenario. Huh. I would so promote that thing. Even if it's not something that I made, I'd be like, hey, this thing is amazing. You guys should check this out. I remember when we used to do art here. I'm getting kind of hungry. It's 10 p.m. I don't want to make food. And I finished the last of my smoked salmon and bread, so I can make sandwiches. Think about dinner. Hmm. I have some mac and cheese and tuna. I could eat that. No, but that's a bit heavy for a meal. No, you know what? I have a pack of peanuts. I'll just eat that. I had dinner, but I had it a little bit early, so yeah. I didn't time it well. Wait, I have an idea for this. It's circular, so I don't need to deform the body. Just the spots. hold on. I have an idea. If I do this, wait, hold on. I'm thinking. Looks a bit strange without the eyes moving, but could be doable. But yeah, we were talking about selling AI mascots or just chatbots to talk to. I don't think it even needs like a mascot. You could just get like a reactive PNG. It'll work the same way. Especially since as I mentioned before, like VTubing is getting more mainstream, and as the years go by, something like Twitch streaming is getting more and more popular. So selling tools that make entering streaming a lot easier, the market is growing. I'm cooking up the new Ordikai AI right now. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. I'll be impressed. In fact, if there are days, like I'll just ask for a copy, and if there are days like I don't feel like streaming, I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna be live, but my cyborg twin is, so you can go chat with them instead. And then I'll watch as they get more popular than me, and then maybe I can just retire from streaming, and my bot will just take care of the rest. And yeah, oh, whoops, I'll game now. What do you mean? This is a little 3D effect. If the cyborg becomes more popular, then your life is just an idle game at that point. That's actually like a futuristic utopias, like the way it's portrayed is just you have robots do everything so that humans no longer need to work and everyone can just do their hobbies and stuff, if that makes sense. It's like instead of focusing on like earning money for a career and all of that stuff, working a job to earn money to survive, it's just everyone just survives and follows their passions rather than careers that they don't care about. I feel like that's essentially what would happen. I think people would burn out on their hobbies and end up doing mindless things. Yeah, if they make like their hobbies like their full-time career, yeah, it does happen. To be fair, that's why I'm like a little bit hesitant to be a full-time artist. In the back of my mind, I'm like, this is a temporary thing. I have noted like sometimes when I'm working on like mascots or doing like commission work, I feel like kind of tired. So what I end up doing is I start working on like other art, other models, which are not commissions, but more just for fun, for research. I call them passion projects. And for some reason, it's very different. It's even a meme like in the art world, right? It's like like an artist is doing commissions like, oh, I need to take a break from my commission work, I need to take a break from drawing all the commissions, and they put it aside, and then they pull up their own fan art and they start drawing it, just for fun. It's physically the same thing, but mentally different. I like to put it this way. When I'm working on the commissions, there's like expectations, there's deadlines. I'm thinking, trying to figure out like what do they want? Will they like it? There's like a certain pressure there. But if I'm working on something that is, just for fun, there's none of that. It's just whether it comes out nicely, badly, if it's finished soon, finished in forever, it's all good, if that makes sense. Diversification is important. True. I see it as a way of when I describe people just doing their hobbies because they don't need to like work and stuff. It's rather than them doing just one thing, it's more they can focus on like all of their hobbies rather than work, and then they have time for like one of them a little bit. Hi, Lucky. Welcome on in. I think a good show that portrays this is the show The Orville, because they live in like the society where they have like matter replicators. They can print anything, food, water, gold if they want. So like there's no need for money. So basically everyone, all of their jobs is, no one gets paid because no one uses money. If you need something, you can just print it with their magic futuristic sci-fi box. So I think in the show they described it as, yeah, no one needs money, so society is just people do what they want, like they follow their passion. They end up still doing jobs. It's just they do the ones that they really like rather than what they have to do. So like for example, it's kind of like a Star Trek-ish show. So the people who are like exploring space and other worlds and stuff, they're not doing it because, they're getting paid. They're like, I just want to explore the world. And like fame and prestige ended up becoming like the new currency because, yeah. But hi, Lucky, we're just talking about random stuff today. We talked about ancient technology. I say ancient, but I'm talking about like phones I had growing up, old phone games, viruses, art, yapping, streaming. Don't let the category fool you. We are a just yapping stream. So I apologize if art is what you came to see. But I feel like in a world where no one needed money, people would diversify. They'd just diversify hobbies. So yeah, I think it'll still work out in the end. But I think it like hmm, I don't know. It would be a rough transition mentally for people. Yeah, I feel like this would be something that rolls out over time, like over the course of years, if not decades. So culture will like slowly shift to accommodate it. But if it's just like a, hey, this thing was invented tomorrow, suddenly, yeah, then society would kind of crash for a little bit. Like, put it this way, if they have like a matter replicating technology, you can print anything. I feel like at first it'll only be available like in massive factories, which means they could like create everything like super, super cheaply. So, like prices of things would go down like drastically. So everything is just like super cheap, and scarcity will slowly be like phased down. And then eventually they'll just skip the whole step of, a factory printing it and then you buying it for cheap to you just having a miniature version of those printers in your house. So people just be like, oh, I have money. Oh, things are very cheap now. Things are so cheap that I never have to think about money. And yeah, I just don't need money anymore, if that makes sense. But say it's like It's a almost magical thing where it can just make anything. You wouldn't even need to pay things to operate it like electricity, right? Create uranium, shove it into a nuclear reactor, you now have power. So I don't think it'll be something that just shows up overnight, but mm, I have a feeling it won't work out that way. It'll be an excuse to fire all employees and raise the prices, perhaps at first. But I feel like it wouldn't be gate kept forever. Eventually, some company somewhere, like for example, if that happens, that'll be the time, like the hypothetical period in the future where only the companies have access to it, and then someone somewhere will maybe steal company secrets, figure out how it works, right? And then they'll start a company where they sell the portable ones that you can shove into your house, and now everyday people have it. And then now that everyday people have it, they could even start printing more. They'll create a two-caste system. One will never want to give up power. Yeah. There'll always be something like that. Like for example, like in the show The Orville, there was still like a caste system in the sense that there were some people above the others, but it wasn't due to like money or anything like that. It was just prestige. Like, oh, they have this rank in government, so they have like nicer houses and that kind of stuff. It was not a perfect world, but it was kind of nice. To be fair, if I had the choice of futuristic worlds to live in, I would say that's one of them. Honestly, I love that show. I should give it a rewatch. I think they canceled it. Not too sure. Fox cancels everything. Yeah. I think one of my favorite characters is that one girl, that alien that's like super crazy strong. I remember seeing like an article about it because I wondered like why she left the show. Apparently they had like some issues with like the producer and they were just, you know, canned and then written out of the story, which was a shame because they're like, oh, something happened, this character has to leave, and then they replace her with like an alien who is basically the exact same person. Firefly mentioned. I only know two things about Firefly. It is a good show, and it was cancelled. I know nothing else. And I considered watching it because I keep hearing how nice it is. But I also heard that it was cancelled, so I don't want to watch something only to realize like it was cancelled and then I never get like the conclusion I deserve. So yeah. What's other good shows that were cancelled? The last episode is a sad one. You can tell the actors are also sad. Ah, because they knew it was like being cancelled. That's what the movie was for. Does it have okay? Is there a satisfying conclusion? Can I watch it and be happy that like it ended? Because if so, I will give it a watch. For the most part, but it's been many years and I still see people crying about it. So was it really that satisfying of an ending? The show is worth it? Perhaps. I am in a bit of a show drought. To the point that I've actually just started watching Modern Family. I've never actually watched it before. I know what the show is about, and I've seen like half of it in the form of shorts, but I'm actually just watching it properly for the first time. Must say, good show. The characters are really good. I like good characters. Always nice to steal for D&D. She'll be your grave. If I watch the show, perhaps I'll watch it. You know what? Where's my phone? I am opening my TV app, and I'm gonna add Firefly. So what is it about? Sell me on the show. Give me a TLDR of what it's about. Not like spoilers or like what the plot is about, just like the premise. Space cowboys. Say no more. I love space and exploration. There's a part of me that wants to replay what's it called? Space Engineers. But I know myself. I will end up sinking like 8 hours building a ship. So I'm like, I will sink way too much time into it. So I've decided not to play it. Where can I put a picture relevant to the stream I just made? Did I put it in general in my Discord? So then I can see it. Space cowboys that play being chaotic neutral but are actually chaotic good. Interesting. We've seen Cowboy Bebop. Some people say they're similar episodic themes. Never watched Cowboy Bebop, but I also heard it was good. Probably present the latest Twitch bot. They will yap nonstop. Believe me, they won't stop. I might steal this for a thumbnail. Do I have your permission? Hi, Ruby. Welcome on in. Ooh, I've been neglecting my VOD channel. I think I'm like 1 or 2 weeks back. Whoops. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll spend just tomorrow. Yeah, because I'm not streaming tomorrow. I think I'll spend tomorrow just what's it called? Catching up on the VODs, like uploading them. Because usually what I do is I upload them, I make a shit posty thumbnail, something that's eye-catching but is made in like 30 seconds. So it's just like stock images with photoshopped my hair into it, maybe like the mascots, their face. Your face, your bot. Well, you created it. I just want to be polite and ask. Because I could maybe one of the streams be like, oh, we talk about like AI. Actually, this stream should have one. How do I make a marker? Slash marker. Yap about AI bots for new streamers. Brackets. Go back. When was it? 30 to 60 minutes. You know what? We'll make a marker. Do you see any of the stuff I made for the Aussies Monster Prom playthrough? I think I saw one. If I remember correctly. I think I said the word of feathers, like a hello fellow kids. Well, I'm a poo 40. I might sleep anyway. Spiral Arts in your server, backflip away. Well, thanks for stopping by. I'll check out the art. But yeah, basically the way you make those images is how I make my VOD thumbnails. How's the amazing Ordi? I am doing great. We're doing art, we are yapping. Yeah, how's it going, Maxine? Hold on, just checking art in Discord. We love yap and art, yeah. We were talking about making like an AI bot. Can I, oh wait, no, can I put this on stream? The little Terminator picture that you made. Yeah, okay, thanks. Pretty good vibing and researching networking stuff. Ah, okay. Do you mean like social networking or like computer? Should do it as now all yours. Yeah, this is what Nadia made. We proudly present the latest Twitch bot. They will yap nonstop. Believe me, they won't stop. Ordic AI, the latest model. Computer networking. Ah, okay. Because at first I thought you meant the social one. Then I'm like, wait a minute. Computers exist too. I like this. I might like steal a section of it. Like for example, the title would be like the rise of AI streamers, and then it'll just be like this thing. We were doing art. E socializing. I mean, IT for a reason. Why would I socialize? Well, we have a lot of IT people here. We actually have a very diverse chan. We have chefs, we have artists, we have animators, we have techie people. Got a bunch of stuff in my Discord. Is your Discord public yet? Are you still working on it? Because I think you were working on it like off stream. I do like to cook. Yeah. Very diverse hobbies. Okay, wait, hold on. I've not joined your Discord. Hold on. Where is it? I'm in your chat right now doing exclamation Discord. Oh, wait, here it is. Sorry, I can't see. Okay, I'm joining. Get a visual update tomorrow around there. Sorry, what are we talking about? Okay, I've joined it. I'll read through everything and do like the whole checking in thing and access it later. Actually, today, but daytime. Yeah, isn't it like super early in the morning? Yeah, I'm surprised you're still awake. Because I remember I used to live in a similar time zone as you. So this was usually the time like I'd wake up and start streaming. Yeah, maybe like an hour ago. Something like that. Time zones are weird. We need to flatten the earth and all live in the same time zone. I stand by that. I feel like the advantage of living like in a giant generational spaceship is everyone has the same time. Since studying IT, we're getting taught IT stuff that I didn't know, which is nice. But also, the more I learn, the more my brain wants to do, and I can't stop thinking about it. You know, we're literally just talking earlier today about programming Twitch bots, right? So that, how do you say this? Like, imagine, hey, do you know those like character AIs, right? Or maybe you're familiar with like the AI VTuber Neurosama, right? Imagine you have one which you basically sell for like what, $10-$20 each. You sell it to someone who is just starting out streaming, so that when they go live, before they can build a community and have active yappers to fill the dead air, they basically can yap to the AI. You know, imagine like you're a new streamer and you rope in like a friend to maybe play Minecraft, and then you guys are chatting while live and stuff. Keeps the place lively, and eventually people will trickle in because like, oh, there's lots of yapping, this place is fun, they talk about fun things, etc., right? Because that's the biggest struggle for people who just start streaming is before you have active yappers, you still need to yap, and if no one is yapping to you, it's kind of hard to maintain. So if you can program a bot that people can yap to, something that's easily available, not too hardware intensive, it could be game changing. It is a business plan. Sorry, it is a great business plan that needs to be capitalized on immediately before some big company starts doing it, and then the opportunity is lost. How does rotation and nighttime work if it's flat? Okay, if everyone will be sleeping at night at the exact same time, so it's fine. You planning to use Frosty Tools? I don't know what Frosty Tools is. Isn't that just ChatGPT? Imagine ChatGPT but with TTS, cute anime model. Isn't that just considered view botting? No, because it's not a viewer. It's, how do you say this? It's having a guest on stream, except that guest is a bot. Because there are some people who they just rope in their friends and they like yamp with them, but there are also some who they don't tell their friends that they're streamers. So even though they have people that they could rope in, they separate their IRL life from their streaming career. I'm kind of like that with like art. I do have some friends who they know I stream, they know I do art. More people know I do art, but not everyone who knows I do art knows I do streaming. To be fair, if they have it, if they have me, if they have my Ordikai account on Discord and they don't know I stream, that's more on them than me. So, oh yeah, I understand now. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine you're a new streamer. You are going live. You don't have people who would pop in like on day one, but you want to keep things lively so people find the VODs, they like the vibes, you can farm clips, have someone to yap with, fill in the dead air. It would be game changing. I need someone to build something like that. Yeah, that would be amazing. Because usually it's not like the most unique concept. There are lots of people who have made stuff like that. It's just they've made it for themselves, for their stream. What the world is lacking is what the world is lacking is basically something that's exactly like that that you can buy as a commission. Frost Tools is a Twitch bot with ChatGPT integration. Twitch chat can talk to it, and my favorite feature is like chat summary, where I can summarize chat. It can be very funny. Exactly, something like that, except it has TTS and it's connected to a model. If you can do that, perfect. I just talked to my feather shrine. Now imagine that feather shrine can talk back to you. People would pay money for that. Someone needs to capitalize on this. If I um if I had the skills to do it, I would have just done it. just for fun. I don't know how easy to do a model, but TDS would be very easy. You just need like certain software to just plug in a model and connect it to TTS. In fact, if you want to do that, I do have some free models. You can just like try experiment with them. I know for then it's best is to talk back. Understandable. You know what? If someone has like something like that, it would motivate me to actually make like an official live to D chat mascot, throw in TTS there. Oh, I forgot the eyebrows. Whoops. Ooh, I should also. Yeah, I need to make the eyebrows form expressions. I feel like they're a little pointed up. But yeah, it'll be kind of easy to do like Sable's mascot, Mathrax to TTS. Actually, I've never done it myself, but I know it's pretty simple to do. In fact, like people who get like my mascot commissions, I do have there's a text file which is like, the guide on how it works. Like how to use the toggles, how to set it up. And there are like a few YouTube links, like some of them like how to set up as, how to put it into your VTube Studio, how to set it up as a live 2D asset. Another one is how to connect it to like TTS software. So basically, TTS is easy to do. A model we already have, like, we can have. The thing that's missing is personality, if that makes sense. Go to bed now, feeling quite tired. Well, thanks for stopping by, Goldie. And see you next time. But yeah, that's basically what we're talking about. We need something that has a personality. Because we have the voice, we have the body. Enjoy arting? Thank you, we shall. Actually, I don't think we will. We're just doing yapping. Frosty allows you to input a personality? Hmm. All right, I'm writing this down. Frosty for TTS mascot personality research. All right, perfect. Hmm. But how good is Frosty? Sable used it a while ago actually in combo with TTS2. Aha. Do you have any clips of it? If not, that's okay. I was thinking it might be like a shortcut for me to like see how it works, but I can just Google it. But yeah, my voice is getting a little bit tired, and I am getting kind of hungry, so I think I'll go make food. I'll see what I have. But he stopped using because the personality he put in ended up being kind of a dick. Ah, okay. I might take some fine tuning. I think it has potential. I might have to make a button that just kills whatever TTS that it's saying. If there's like a way to like shut it up. Hmm. I've never used it. I don't know how it works. But it could be fun to play around with. I already have like a ton of models just laying around. I would be able to use the commission ones. But I do have like some. Frosty is paid though? Oh. Hmm. Is it a subscription or is it a one time payment? I'm Googling this. Frosty Twitch extension. Hmm. Subscription because it's just ChatGPT. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because we were discussing it earlier. And basically the two ways we could have made it work is either it uses ChatGPT, which has its own issues, or it runs on your PC, which draws like a ton of resources hardware wise. Hmm. I think the best option would be something that is how would you say this? One time purchase, and then you can kind of just sell that. Sell it as like a just as a bot that you buy like a pet, and then yeah. I will see what I can do. Maybe there's like some free alternatives. I want to look into it. Maybe that's what I'll do on one of those days where I don't have the energy to do work, but I still want to be productive in quotes. That's what my to-do list is really for. Say, I will look into it. Hmm. So, I think this is where we're gonna call it today. Thanks everyone for stopping by. If you wanna, I think there are a few new people. Sorry, my voice is already dying. This is our Discord. Anyone wants to join, completely optional. Thanks to stream, you're welcome. I'm here every other day, so I won't be streaming tomorrow, but we'll be back the day after. See, mm, do we know anyone who is Lie? Mm, I'm seeing birthday stream. Okay. So, gonna start the raid. Thanks everyone for stopping by. I hope you all had a great time. I know I did. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye bye. Okay. Um, we have the timer going, but I think I'm just gonna end. So bye bye everyone.